Local productions seen on Delta College Public Media are made possible with support from viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Junia Doan's The Spark. I'm Junia Doan, and thank you for joining us. My guest today is Graham Saladino, President and Creative Director of Saladino Furniture. Welcome, Graham. Graham, tell us about Saladino Furniture. How did it get established, and what is it?
It is a furniture line for the industry, so architects and mainly interior designers shop from us. It was started in 1987, and my father developed it after he had worked with other large furniture companies like Bloomingdale's and Baker and Dunbar. He wanted to have his own company, and he felt they weren't paying him enough for his designs, and that's what really was the catalyst for the whole project. I think the original was about 80 pieces in the collection. And over the years, we've brought it forward and maybe we've modified some of the original pieces that sell quite well and updated things, or we've added to it. That was usually through design projects for clients. And we would try it out in the showroom and see how people would respond to the new designs and add them in the line and year by year.
And you offer a design service as well.
A more modest approach than my father's, but yes, you're correct. So we work with clients, and we have a project up in Upper Westchester. We're refreshing the client's home. We, do all the measuring and site visits. So it's fun. It's a new way for me to move forward, and then I can incorporate what we build on these projects. So it's very nice.
Walk us through the process if someone wanted to hire you.
Sure. They usually will email us or call us. And sometimes they'll come into the showroom to meet us, or we'll go to their home. And depending on the budget, we'll suggest a couple options. And if they want to move forward, and we start with a retainer based on the client's needs for their home. And depending on the amount of work, we have people that work for us that are freelance. So it's kind of the new modern way. I've still worked with some of the original employees from, 15 years ago, but everyone's remote or we'll meet up at a job site. So that's kind of how we do it.
And there's there always this issue of contemporary influences or not. I remember when we were finishing more or less our project, Jean was there and he said to me, I found my design métier. I found my design for what he was doing now. This was 70s, 80s. But then it changed. So, to what extent do you think the culture or the design culture influences changes of a designer or you for that matter, different from your father?
Right. Well, I think for my dad, he started more as a minimalist, more modern, and over the years it became more layered. And I think the influence for him was really his reference to history and going back and studying other designers or architects, even hundreds of years ago, like Palladio. And so the projects became a little bit more intricate or more grand. And I think we sent you some of the architectural photos of some of the larger projects he did. So that's really the influence I think of my dad's work was through history and all of his knowledge studying all the books that he collected over his lifetime.
Do you want to describe one or two of the pictures you sent us that we will interpose in the program?
Sure, absolutely. We basically, I believe, sent you projects where one was in Florida. It's a great estate that my dad built from the ground up. One is in Seattle, Washington. That might be the one you're referring to. So that was in the style William and Mary architecture, and a lot of scratch coat plaster, which is kind of his signature in residential design. Towards the end of his career, there's another photo I believe we sent of a house in Atherton, California, again from the ground up, very large. I think that was 17,000 square feet. Yeah, and I
I don't
believe.
see how people live in that space, but
Well, it's
obviously
funny
they
you
like
say
it.
that because when I went there to show my family the house, they were selling it because they thought it was too large. My dad told them it would end up being too big. It took so long that the kids grew up and moved out. So by the time the house was done, they were by themselves. So you almost need a phone just to track down your spouse.
How long did it take from beginning to end to complete it?
5 years,
That's a
140
long time in
projects.
a child's life. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting. Was John satisfied with his life?
Oh, I think so. He felt very happy with his success, and he's would always say, "I've had a great life." And if you look back, I mean, he studied painting at Yale, and then that just led from there on to studying under designers and architects and starting his own company. And with a degree in painting, he traveled the world, and he was an influencer um, for the well-to-do and how to design their homes, and in some cases was almost showing them how to live well.
That's a beautiful way of putting it. And uh, so when were you first aware that he was a designer and architect?
I would say probably at the opening, he did a collection, and I think it was with Baker a long time ago, and I don't know, I was probably 7 to 9 years old, and they had the press there, and went with my parents. It's very exciting, and that's when I learned what really he was doing.
What influence do you think your mother had on his design?
I think it was more helping him socially and to navigate New York City social life and to help him get ahead that way. I'm sure she would kick him under the table as to not say, to be politically correct and everything like that and not say the wrong thing. So um, I think that's where she excelled, and she helped him get the clients.
So, and she died from breast cancer? I mean, something
Correct.
horrible.
Yeah.
Uh, when you were quite young. How old were you?
I was 15.
That's a big change in life.
Oh, yeah. No, it was very, very tough. And people would ask me, and it sounds like I describe it as a tuning fork when you hit one of those and the sound just resonates. And that's what it sounded like for me for a long time. Very angry as a young kid. I'm sure it wasn't easy for my father to raise at that age, but we somehow worked as a team and moved forward. And yeah, it was a challenging time.
I would like to say that John's personality was expansive,
Oh yeah,
extremely witty, incredible eye, and volcanic reaction
right.
if you saw a design differently. And I always wondered what that would be like at home. You know, some people are so different at work than they are at home. Was he?
At a young age, I just remember him yelling a lot, and he's struggling to get ahead with his career, get the clients he wanted and the projects he wanted. So um, I remember them yelling a little bit, but um, once I would say probably by my teenage years, a lot of that had changed. He had mellowed out, but he was the same at work as at home, I think. Just with time, he mellowed, and it was easier experience, let's just say.
Well, you have such a different personality that I was sort of protected. John would yell at me. He said, "You're just like Virginia," which
Yes.
is his wife's name. You like those warm colors.
I think
So
that comes from now that I'm older and I'm doing more residential work, your patience kind of gets evaporated because there's so many questions coming at you to get the job done and to manage the project and the client's request. So I always joked I used to be able to hide just by managing the furniture company and staying out of his way. So, but as I got older, I got it.
I think for Baker, he did something like a high back chair. I saw it on Forced Dibs when I was doing the back research, and I thought it was beautiful. I've never seen that before. So that made me think that Baker kept the designs, that you could never show that in your showroom, and they phased it out or whatever they did with the ones he gave them or sold them. Is that correct? Once a company buys them or license them, you can't make them anyplace else?
Yeah, usually it will depend on your contract with them. Sometimes they'll release you after a year. Um, but he does have pieces in his own line that you can see the influence from Baker. I think the chair you're talking about was a modern, almost like a wingback chair.
Yes, very high and sort of, I saw it
Right.
in scarlet or something that looked like scarlet, but I had never seen it before. Just came out of the research I was doing for this program. Um, would you like to walk around or show us a picture of some of John's more classic or more popular sales? His lamp maybe is a very
Sure.
popular one.
I'll
I
swing
go
this.
to different homes of new friends, and they will, in showing me around, there is a lamp. They would say
So
that's a Saladino lamp.
here.
Yes, but it's right,
So the story on
and
that,
that's a very old lamp because John took two of them out in Michigan with us. So that's 40 odd years ago. Oh, it's long a time.
right? I have the original lamp. It's from 1971, and he bought, an old, almost like chemical container and made the lamp. And fast forward to today, as a furniture manufacturer, we actually build that lamp ourselves right here in Connecticut in the office. So
Interesting.
we reversed engineered it and figured out how to do it. And it's been a success really for years. So I haven't only changed it just a little bit, but that probably sells the most.
And what sells the second most?
I would say probably the Harley chair, which I think I have
Which
it
one is that?
right there next to
Oh,
the.
yeah.
So
I think I have a couple of those too.
right, so
Very
then,
old at this point, quite old at this point.
right,
How
so
has your own design sense changed? What do you like to honor of John's sensibilities and style or design and your own impulse? I mean, the culture has changed.
I like the more contemporary pieces my dad designed, and those usually tend to sell the most. So the sofa right behind me, I can just get out of the way.
Yeah,
And oh, wrong way, sorry.
yeah,
And so
nice.
going forward, we will be probably in the new year. I saved a lot of his original drawings and sketches, so we're going to be adding to the collection. So, for instance, that Harley chair that I showed you with the chain,
Yes.
we're going to do curved arms. We're going to
Oh,
bring it
nice.
up. Yep. So we'll be adding all of this. So that's the next step forward for us. It's a
And
beautiful
how do you promote the line, as it were?
right here. We do an ad campaign with this magazine, and it's been a great success for us. I think it has the best taste level,
Beautiful.
and it's just really
What's
a,
it
I think
called?
it,
Milieu?
yeah.
Haven't seen it. Very good.
And so that's been a success. And then we do ads on Instagram, and then we have through our website we have about 16,000 followers. So we send out messages to them and videos and things like that to capture their attention. So that's really what we're doing. Even though I'm in Connecticut, I mainly sell to the Southerners. So all the furniture we're building right now, for exception of a few orders, are going to Alabama, New Orleans, Florida, Texas.
So, generationally speaking, is that even a fair question on that I'm about to ask? Do they have their waxing and waning towards complicated or styles of furniture? Would his go out with certain, be less popular with certain generations, but more with a different one?
I believe that's true because the bigger influencers like Gary Friedman, who owns and runs Restoration Hardware, people buy what they see, and he's going to start doing a more contemporary line, or actually leaving the contemporary line, sorry, and going a little bit more traditional. And I think that's going to pull in possibly more designers towards what we do.
Interesting. Are you asked to give lectures on design?
Fairly recently, yes, but it's more in regards to my dad's work. I don't know if I'm quite ready to to go down that road, just having to pass in July. So just kind of pulled back a little bit.
Yes. And it's such a remarkable, what did you tell me? He said he was in the waiting room for death or something like that. I mean, it's so typically John to make humor around
Oh yeah,
almost any subject he picked. Um,
sure. To
I tell
quote
you,
him,
he had a mischievous smile, like like he wanted to have fun uh, with things, and a great talent. Was it hard to not have his level of talent?
for whatever reason, we kind of did our own thing. Um, when I first started working for him, and I managed the furniture production, and he was working with licensed architects, so there wasn't really much I could help him with because he enjoyed working at that top level, and I helped him on some of the smaller things in design, and I managed the furniture production. And I always reminded him that in his lifetime, I sold almost $100 million worth of his furniture with very little input from him, maybe one day a year. So I think he liked that.
He'll appreciate you more. That's a
Oh,
staggering amount.
yeah. Yep. Oh,
You
yeah.
can
We
be very
sold.
proud of that. What did he call your daughter? The La Princesa? I'm trying to remember something very Italian and grand. And are you raising her in any particular way that emphasizes design or art in any sense?
Yeah, no, she's very creative. I don't think I raised her as formally as my father raised me, but I think she can go between all different, let's say, classes of people with relative ease and be very comfortable, whether it's a social event or just going to a regular outing of something that's not high end. So, no, we're very proud of her. And I think she falls in line with the creative eye. My wife says it's a great help when she does the photo shoots in the fashion world, assisting her.
What does your wife do? I didn't know she was in the fashion world. How so?
She was a market editor at Hearst Corporation.
Oh, that's a big job.
She worked for over the years Glamour and Women's Health, all these different magazines. Now she worked for private companies like freelance, doing the same kind of work.
Do you
So
need a particular skill to be successful?
I think for her, it's she gets along with everyone. Everyone responds well with her, and she's a loyal person, and she has a good eye. And she stayed in longer than most people, at our age. So that's a testament to who she is.
Sometimes I think you're quite different from your father, are you?
Yes, yeah. I'm.
How so?
I think I'm more rational. I'm more of a calming effect. But as I get older, I can see my personality switching over to his, where you lash out and say things because you're more under pressure doing these design projects. So I think a lot of it comes down to the amount of downtime involved in all of this to get it done and answering to so many different people.
Do you have a 10-year plan or a 5-year plan, or can you even make a plan?
My plan started with COVID, and I realized I had to make a move. I was watching all of the news like everyone else, trying to figure out where our country was going. And all the people were basically saying you have to rely on technology. And we updated the website, and that led to a great response, which told me I didn't need to be parked in the island of New York City. And so then I moved my family out to Connecticut. We had such a good response living there. I always joke we're now surrounded by taxpayers, a very different experience. And the best part for me was Google Maps and being able to see locations that are your neighborhood, basically. And I discovered this showroom, and we moved the office here about a year later. And it's really been nice. So, my plan, that was probably about 5 years right there. And the plan
Yes.
going forward from here, going out, we're basically reaching out to our best designers that have worked with us over my lifetime and giving them a private viewing of what they can possibly buy from my dad's home, his lifetime of collecting antiquities and furniture. So we're doing that right now. And the future will be for me, I is quick ship on some of these things. So we'll have duplicates, we'll have fully upholstered items ready to go. I think that will help us. And I think at some point I will have to find a showroom either in Nashville or Atlanta or Dallas and 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 go in that direction. So that's basically the next 5 years. By moving out here, my goal was to remove myself completely from New York State. And I think I've almost done it. And we have all new vendors here in Connecticut. And most of my new vendors, the savings is pretty dramatic, between 24 and 64% in production costs.
How do you explain that?
They're nicer out here.
I don't mean to laugh, but it is true and funny.
Uh, you're not taken. They honor the idea that you're coming to them and to work with them. And maybe I should have done it earlier. Some of my relationships are too long in the tooth. I mean, we have a company right next door I discovered that they just do shipping and packing. And I remember the first time they they packed something for free. I had to hold on to the wall and have my partner tell me it twice that that's what happened. I couldn't believe it. Never in my lifetime in New York did I ever have somebody offer that kind of help. So it's almost like a neighborhood feeling, which I like.
Nurturing.
Oh yeah, I went from a very cold one window office in New York City to this showroom here, which is 4 times the size, with 16 windows, with a functioning loading dock. And we have fabric companies all around us here, from Stark, Scalamandre, Cravat, Schwartz
Can
Design.
anyone walk in
Yeah,
who isn't a designer? Oh, that's good news.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
listen, thank you, Graham. I have to end this, but so nice learning about the continuation of John's design through you, who have a sensitivity that's different from his and a building instinct. And he was lucky to have you as the son.
thank you.
Um, and I liked your message towards the end about community and feeling part of things and helpful because it is true. Cultures, even within the United States, vary. They vary by region, they vary by time, by which decade sometimes. So, all to the good. I'm really so happy that you have a happy life and that you were so good to your father. And now for the audience, tune in next week. Remember what I say, go out and do something kind for someone you know and someone you don't know. See you next time.
To contact Junia, send her an email at juniadonsthespark@gmail.com. For more information, program schedules, and news about future guests, go to www.juniadonthespark.com. Thank you for joining us. See you next time on Junia Doan's The Spark.
Local productions seen on Delta College Public Media are made possible with support from viewers like you. Thank you.